Hello, everyone. This is David with No Worship coming to you. You know, I've been looking at everything. I hate to say the word because you don't know. I don't know. Nobody really does. I'm trying to check what I say, and sometimes what I say seems to not make much sense to you. But in my mind, I can see, I recognize that this is a sad world that we're living in. I did not think that I would see the time when things would end. Yeah, I keep this all to myself. I don't talk to my friends about it because it's not going to do any good. Just like it's not going to do any good talking to you about it. The sad state of affairs is that all this that we're doing right here on YouTube, it's going to go away. And I'm sure the creators of YouTube would sit back and laugh about what I'm saying, but that's okay. You see, the truth of the matter, there's just so much of everything that's going on right now that's unsustainable. And I'm not one to stand out saying the end is near, the end is near, ringing a bell, see who was listening. I'm not going to stand on the corner and try to preach to you about this and that. No. All I'm trying to do to you is bring you the truth of what I know. I can't bring you anything else. I know that there's going to come a time real fast when the things that you take for granted each and every day is going to change. You take it for granted each and every day that you'll get up and have a place to go work. You're going to have money coming in some way or another. You're going to have food on your table. You're going to have your bed to sleep in. That everything's going to be all right. You just keep doing what you're doing. Kind of pushing your way through all the things that's happening. You know, I've always said there are three gangs, big gangs. And we got our little street gangs and things like that in the world, but they're nothing compared to these three major gangs in America. And I have to call them that because they're all operating on a gang mentality right now. We don't get our way, we're going to make sure you don't get your way. There's lots of hate and discord between the three gangs. And I call them three. The two major ones and a minor one. And the minor one is the one that's kind of pulling away from the other two to keep them from being dominant in the world. That's just the way it is, baby. And these three gangs are the Republicans, the Democrats, and the Independents. That's all they are. You can be liberal, conservative, in either one of them, but you're still a part of that gang. No matter how you look at it, you're part of that gang, one way or the other. You're either a Republican or you're a Democrat, and if you're neither one of those, you're an independent. You're either conservative or liberal in either one of these gangs. There is no neutral, and they have torn apart everything that you believe in, trying to fit all the world and society into a formidable little pocket. Well, the world's been fighting. and warring with each other. And it just stands to reason you bring them all together, they're not going to all of a sudden be lovey-dovey holding hands and saying everything's okay now. No, they're going to continue to fight. I mean, you take somebody that's Islam, that's in Iran, and you put them with somebody that is Islam, that is in Palestine, and those two Islams will fight with each other because their beliefs and what they're doing is totally different to each other, enough to where they're going to fight. That's just the way it is. Same thing with Christians. People that call themselves a Christian, there is so much infighting and backbiting within each one of them till nobody knows who to trust or believe in. And that's just the way it is. You say, well, I'm this type of Christian or that type of Christian. It doesn't matter as long as you're a Christian. Well, no, it does matter. See, there's a lot of Catholicism and Catholics in the world that consider themselves Christians. But many in I would say, other type of Christianity will not recognize Catholicism or Catholics as part of Christianity. No, they won't. And see, there's other type of Christians in the world, those from Baptists to Protestants to Methodists to all the other ones, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they all call them Christians, but yet in the mainstream and side roads of Christianity, none of them accept each other, and they are going to wind up fighting. Just like there is fighting going on in Afghanistan and Iraq that's going on there, just like there is fighting going on in the Persian Gulf and all these other nations that surround the Persian Gulf. They're fighting with each other because they want to fight for what they believe in, and what they believe in is being brought to America, and that people think that the fighting will stop. No, it's not. Should learn from the mafia. The mafia was brought over here from Italy. They got over here, and this family was always worried with that family. You always had somebody that was trying to get up on the other person. And they had their little covenants and little rules and stuff. If you're born into a family, you're going to die in that family, regardless if you want to or not. You're part of the mafia. Even though they wouldn't call it mafia, they call it family, and this is the way we do our business. They call it something else. You can't join a family if you're not born and blood in it, no matter how much you try to be a street gangster moving up throughout the ranks. The family from the family, and that's the way it is. In Italy all their life, and you bring them here, and they wind up fighting or doing things against each other, killing each other. Thus, the war never did stop. Just like with the Irish, just like same thing with the Scottish and English, the French, the German, all of them. There are divisions between them. You take somebody from up around northern Germany and you bring them to the southern part of Germany, and they're going to fight because there's a big difference. No matter how much they like to celebrate, whatever, they're going to be fighting because there is a difference in belief. Just like in Burgundy, France. Burgundy, France, and all those people around there, they had their way of believing and the way that they like to go. And sometimes it is by the same way that some of the Irish and the Vikings, all like that go. Valhalla is very much real. And you bring all those people over here, do you think that that's going to change them? No, it's not. Just like there was a lot of African Americans that was brought to America by way of slave ship. But there were some that actually worked and fought their way over here, and they were still discriminated against. There are some of them that actually owned plantations that was outside of America. Yes, they own their own. Some of them, most of them, majority of them owned by whites, but some of them was owned by blacks. Yeah, check it out. And when their society fell, wherever it may be, and I'm going to use Haiti and Jamaica as part of that uh, group that you can look at. You can see that their society, once it broke down, it's still breaking down. They can't find other ways to make money. But you bring them over here, do you think that it's all peaceful once they come here? It's not peaceful. They say it's a land of opportunity. But the truth of the matter, I don't care what business you go into or what acreage you say that you own, you never have a business that is yours in America. You never have an able to own any land in America. Simple reason, simple fact. Eminent domain can take that land from you. The government come in with your business. They need something done. Your business there, they'll come in, take over, and tell you that this is what you got to start making. Don't believe it happens. Think of what Trump did to the people when they needed respirators. He went in, called for the War Powers Act, and took over some of these companies from what they had to make. They had to refigure their lines and everything like that, lots of money and everything to make breathing machines for people, respirators. Not enough masks going around. There was a loss of clothing industry. Stopped everything they were doing to make um, masks for people, to make sanitizers and stuff. And it's all dictated by the government. And that's the reason why you never own your business, nor do you ever own land in America. I mean, you pay tax every year, and you same thing as paying rent to a landlord. You don't pay, you're out on your own. Well, each poor renter, they can go to the court and get put off for a few days, few months, whatever, before they get evicted. But nonetheless, they're going to get evicted. The squatters have proven this so many times. They go into a vacant home or they just push their way and say, I'm not getting out, that's my home, and no matter who owns the home, it can take years of legal service to get those squatters out. And by the time it's all over with, then the people that are trying to get the squatters out, it's just so much debt they can't pay for what happened, they lose their home anyway. The government in America is corrupted by three gangs: the Republicans, Democrats, and the Independents. That is the biggest corruption, biggest crime wave there is going on right now in America. Our young kids are bright enough and smart enough. They see this happening. Why do you think so many of them are discouraged and upset? They know that what's going on is unsustainability. It's the same thing that's going on with the way that we worship God. What you call God, what I call God, the way we worship, it's all going to change. It's all got to stop. How do you stop the fighting? You tell them, okay, you no longer can do this, no longer can do that. You can't carry a flag down the middle of the street saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it is discriminatory towards others. There goes our freedom of speech. It's been taken away from us. The freedom of the press. They think they can print anything they want to. Remember me telling you that a business can be regulated and controlled by the government? Government goes into that uh, news place and says, okay, we're going to take over. This is what you're going to print. This is what you're going to say. That's it. But that's what happened. And you say, well, the government can't do that. Tell that to the people that had to move out of their house because the government wanted to take and put a road through there. Regardless if the road was good or bad or whatever, the government came in and pushed you out. Eminent domain. Do you think that's not going to wind up happening when the government tries to crack down on all the hysteria that's going on? For those who don't get the COVID 19, do you think the government's going to leave COVID 19 if you don't get the shot, the vaccination? Do you think the government's going to leave you alone? No. They're going to push you until you either take the shot or you die. And that's just the way it is. Even though the vaccine, no matter how you look at it, good, bad, doesn't make any difference. What is the difference is that the government is taking over and it's being controlled by the three gangs, Republicans, Democrats, and the independents. Always. Yeah, I say liberals and conservatives. Liberals and conservatives are just different branches of each one of those. So you can say well, there's six gangs. No, they're just three. Just because you get small divisions within the game doesn't mean that they're not part of a larger one. There's a group of Hells Angels that's part of California. There's some that's part of Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, throughout all of the United States. There's parts of the Hells Angels. Each one operates under a different rule, different law. But when push comes to shove, push comes to shove, they will stick together and fight with one another, fighting for each other, just like Minutemen used to do in the United States, breaking away from England. The Minutemen come in, they did their fighting. The Hells Angels, they would do their periodical fighting here and there. They had their own rules. But even with the governing body of the Hells Angels, they had division. You don't believe me? Ask one leader if anybody they can trust 100% with their life. And if he says yes, he's lying. And he's only saying that because it's got a try to keep peace within the organization. Doesn't mean that he fully trusts them. It means he doesn't. And this is what his expectations are bringing him to. Either way, people, all this stuff being taken away from them. The peppers out there, if you're not ready to bug out right now, you never will be. And for some of you, I would say go ahead and do it. Because sometime within the next year, maybe 2 years, what we know of America will be gone. What we know of the world government ruling party, regardless if it's a Democratic type of party or a dictatorship, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be gone. The power grid, that fuel for me to be able to do this, it too will go away. It's all going to stop. And if you don't believe me, think about the power outages that's happening just because So these power plants ain't putting out enough power for everybody that needs it. So they have to have what's called brownout, rolling brownout, we call it. The fuel cost. We've known for a long time, ever since the 60s, the 70s, that there's only a limited amount of crude oil left on Earth. And the United States try to take as much as they can and hoard it back for themselves. But that's only means that other nations that need it are going to get pissed and come after us for it. This is what's going to happen, people. If you're a prepper and haven't made bugged out already, you're too late. For me, I've been prepping, and I've counted my plate. Well, I'm basically there. Not there, but I'm basically there in my prepping place. As far as the way that I believe and worship, it's not going to change. I worship something higher and greater than what you call God. I'm not a Christian. I'm not Islamic. I'm not Muslim or Jewish. I am just a human being that believes that God talks to us. That is greater than us, that knows all, sees all, talks to us each and every day. And all we have to do is listen. That's part of the new worship. Going back to the way it was to begin with. Well, sometimes what we did to begin with was the right way of doing things. Anyway, nobody's going to watch this. Nobody's ever going to join me for any of these things. And I hope you have a great day and great time. It's David. That is greater than all. I am that servant to this. Y'all have a good time. Bye bye.